You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZWLP Conroe and 106.1 KZCCLP Conroe, and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Hello, everyone. I am Margie Taylor, your host for Conroe Culture News, FM 104.5, 106.1, and live streaming Facebook Live on Conroe Culture News and irlonestar.com. Our guest today will be Commissioner Precinct 2, Charley Riley, and with him will be Bruce Berger, Chief of Staff. So this show is sponsored by Stein Chiropractic and Team Sinisi Real Estate Group. Stein Chiropractic is located at 3033 West Davis by Conroe High School and Taco Bell. They have been voted Montgomery County's best chiropractic center for 4 consecutive years, and they treat everyone from infants to seniors and athletes to professionals, weekend athletes that is. Their focus is on natural holistic healing without surgery to achieve optimal health. So, Stein Chiropractic. Other sponsor is Team Sinisi Real Estate Group. And if you don't know yet, where have you been? Real estate is hot. Hot right now. Best rates, interest rates ever. So if you're looking to invest, if you're looking to sell or buy a new home, call Team Sinisi because it's an easy name to remember. 281-507-9777. So, what's going on all around us? Well, I can tell you. Hello, Dolly is being performed by Christian Community Theater, and that opens up this coming weekend, August 13th through the 22nd at the Crichton Theater. You can find out more information at crichtontheater.org. There is a wearable art and home decor trunk show the whole month of August at the Conroe Art League in downtown Conroe. And believe it or not, school is starting. School is starting all over, so be ready for that. And if you haven't done your school shopping yet, you can still shop in downtown Conroe. Main Street Merchants and Sweet Texas Treasures have the trendy styles for your high school or college student. The Assistants League has fashions for everyone, including backpacks and some school supplies, and they also give back to the community. They are a nonprofit, believe it or not, so you can take any of your items there to be resold and help our vulnerable populations. You can get your hair cut, Pixie on Main, Switch Hair Studio, or the oldest barbershop in Texas, Shepherd's Barbershop. Did you know that they opened in 1912? Amazing. So they are still running hard. And go celebrate the kids going back to school with a lunch. Go to Red Brick Tavern, Vernell's New Orleans Bakery, Honor Cafe, Carmelita's, Pacific Yard House, and breakfast is served every morning at Vernell's, Red Brick Tavern, and Honor Cafe. So in other exciting news, Foss Brewing is getting ready to open up their brew house in downtown Conroe. There's lots of things going on. So they just got in new equipment and tanks, so they are getting ready for their first batch of beer, and that will happen the end of September. So save the date for the Sunday Fun Day stroll to benefit Bridgewood Farms on September 19th, which is a Sunday. That's why it's Sunday Fun Day, from 2 to 5 p.m. And that they are the oldest nonprofit in Montgomery County. They were established in 1967, so I guess that makes them like 54 years old. So you can purchase a ticket for $50 to taste wines, cocktails, and beer from the local venues. Vernell's New Orleans Bakery will be having a cake tasting during that time too. How fun is that? So you can walk around and you can taste beer from Foss Brewing if they're open. Other than that, you can do cocktail tasting at 202 Main. BE Winery will have wine tasting. The Firm Meadery will have their made with honey wine tasting. And they're also bringing in Bernhardt Winery will probably be at the Red Brick Tavern. The Corner Pub will be open for this, and it all benefits Bridgewood Farms. There's even going to be a silent auction at Brownlee's Jewelry Store made with 10 items made by the clients. So it's a wonderful thing. They had to cancel their biggest fundraisers in 2020 and 2021, and this really benefits the clients with special needs. So go to bridgewoodfarms.org to find out more about that. And every fourth Thursday of the month is the Sip, Shop, and Stroll in downtown Conroe from 5 to 10 p.m. if you like bingo, there's bingo every Thursday, and you win a bottle of wine from Blue Epiphany Winery. So much going on. Live music every Friday and Saturday nights at 202 Main, the Fern Meadery, the Corner Pub, and Blue Epiphany Winery downtown. So with that, we're going to take a quick break and be right back with Commissioner Charley Riley and Bruce Berger.
Since 2004, Roger Stein Chiropractic has offered spine and joint manipulation services to residents of Montgomery County and surrounding areas. Conditions treated include lower back pain, migraines, headaches, whiplash, carpal tunnel, neck pain, sciatica, joint pain, sports injuries, herniated discs, and complications from pregnancy. Roger Stein Chiropractic, led by Dr. Stacy Rogers and Dr. Brian McGee, is an integrity-verified chiropractic clinic. Call 936-441-9990 for an appointment or visit rogerssteinchiropractic.com. That's RODGERSSTEIN chiropractic.com.
Team Sinisi is a proud sponsor of Conroe Culture News. Vinny Sinisi and his professional team provide comprehensive real estate services throughout the greater Montgomery County area and beyond. Whether looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, Team Sinisi has an impeccable reputation. Contact Team Sinisi for a great experience at teamsinisi.com. That's TEAMSINISI.com.
Hey y'all, it's DJ Mike from Dance Time in Texas. Join me Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. as I count down the top 10 Texas Red Dirt songs that are packing the dance floor. I'll be featuring local artists and the story behind the hits, shows in the area, as well as new songs that make you want to dance. It's Dance Time in Texas with DJ Mike on Lone Star Community Radio, 104.5 KCZW and 106.1 KZCC, Conroe, Texas, or online, irlonestar.com.
Okay, I am Margie Taylor, your host for the show today, and my guests today are Commissioner Charley Riley, Precinct 2, and we also have Bruce Berger, his Chief of Staff, and we're going to talk a few things about what's happening in Precinct 2, what projects have been completed. He is an elected commissioner, so we want to know what's going on and what's coming up ahead, and then we're going to talk about some special events as well. Does that sound good, Charlie?
Sounds great to me.
Okay, so thank you both for coming in today. So what's going on in Precinct 2?
Have you been to Precinct 2 lately, Margie?
I have. I was there Tuesday.
If it's happening anywhere, it's happening in Precinct 2.
It is happening.
It's amazing what's going on in Precinct 2. It's amazing the road projects and the projects we've been able to complete, what that's done to the precinct, what that's done to that part of the county. And I guess one of the biggest changes, one of the biggest accomplishments, I guess, is going to be the 249 toll road through Montgomery County Precinct 2.
That's a big project.
It's changed the whole side of this county, and it will continue changing this whole side of the county for the next 30 years or more. All the road improvements that we've been able to do, we've done everything on our road bond list that we said we was going to do. We've done those, plus we've done a few extra because we saved some money on a few projects, so we were able to do a few more little projects.
So you reallocated to other things that need to be done.
Yes, ma'am. We took some of that road bond money and we funneled it to other projects that we needed to do. We just weren't sure we were going to be able to do that. So we've done more than what we have told people we were going to do, and we're through with our road bond project. So
that's fabulous news.
It was an exciting time to be able to do that, and we put things on the ground that have tremendously helped not only mobility in Precinct 2, but the safety and the quality of life.
That's
we got
the most important stuff.
We built Grand Pine Road from Nickel Sawmill over to 2920. Getting into Harris County, and I've had people tell me that saved anywhere from 15 to 35 minutes on their way to work and the way home from work.
And that matters.
So if I could get 35 more minutes going to work or 35 more minutes when I get home and I can spend with my family, that's big.
Absolutely.
And
Quality time.
I can't tell you what 249 has done. I can tell you what it's done for me. I can get to HGAC down in Greenway Plaza now in about 55 minutes instead of 2 hours and 10 minutes. So all of that means something to me. My time is valuable. Everybody's time is valuable.
How much time do you spend on the road? Daily, weekly?
You know, I put somewhere around 55,000 miles a year on my truck. So I don't know how to tell you.
You're always
everywhere.
moving.
Yes.
You're moving throughout your precinct.
I don't
all
sit
the
around
time.
the office. I don't sit around the office in front of the computer.
No, I've called there and you're never there.
Or in front of the TV.
No, you don't.
I'm out. I love to get out and about. That's what it's about. You know, I love to go see the project, but I love to go talk to the people. It's not pleasant always, but I think the way we approach things is we try to help people, and we'll tell people right off the bat, I can't help you. I can't do what you want me to do. And sometimes that don't sit well. But if I
Well, and a lot of people think you're responsible for a lot more than you really are,
for
correct?
everything, yes, for everything.
Mm-hmm.
But if I go in there and tell somebody I may be able to do something, knowing all along I can't do it, I haven't done anything for you or me or anybody else. So I don't believe in doing that. And I think people appreciate that. They may not tell me right then, but I've had several people that said, you know, I remember when you came out here and told me you cannot do that, and I was mad as I can be. 2 years later, they'll come up to me and say, you know, you were right. You couldn't do it. I had to take care of it. I had to find somebody else to take care of it. And I get that all the time. So I think that's the only way to operate.
But you do share information as where they can get resources or who they need to
or where you need
contact.
to try to go, or here,
Correct.
talk to these folks, or 9 times out of 10, if somebody wants me to do something on their property or behind their property that I can't do. But I do try to direct them in the right place. You know.
What seems to be the biggest issue?
The biggest issue is drainage on somebody's property. We're responsible by statute from the state. We've got the road and the roadside ditches. That's all. We cannot get out of that right away. So
Flooding, things
flooding,
like that.
if people buy a piece of property, and I'll be honest with you, somebody will buy a piece of property from somebody, and they say, well, the county's going to come in and take care of that. They just haven't done it yet. Well, what does that mean? That means you bought a piece of property thinking I'm going to come in there and fix it after you move in, and I can't. So who are you mad at? You're not mad at that guy. You're mad at me because I told you I can't do it. So, and that happens all the time. And that's little bitty things, Margie, but those little bitty things can grow into big things.
Right.
And they do sometimes. And that's just not right.
Right. Have you had any issues with the water as far as the whole SJRA, Lone Star Conservation, any of that?
You know, we deal with that just very, very little bit. We try not to get involved in people's water. I know
That's not really a big issue.
That
for
may
you.
not sound
Yeah.
right. I don't want people paying this kind of money for water, but there's absolutely nothing I can do about it right now.
Right. Right.
And
I know
I don't like that.
the water issue is a big
It is a big
thing
issue
too.
The subsidence and all of
Right.
that, and we got to pay attention to that. I mean, you got two different stories being told by two different groups, and they're one of them can walk in my office and lay that out there, and you can't understand most of it because we're not all hydrologists or we're not all, but they can tell you all these numbers and tell you all these figures. It sounds great. And then the next bunch comes in and said, don't pay attention to their numbers. They're all wrong. Here's the right numbers. It takes a long time to figure all that.
All we know is we don't want subsidence.
We don't want that, and we don't want
Bottom
to be
line.
paying as much money for the water
Right.
as we are right now.
Correct.
We want some improvements.
Right.
And I think they're all
For
working
those that use the water usage the most.
they are trying to work in the right direction. It's just going to take a while to get that done.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I think the best thing for maybe us to do as commissioners and maybe the county is get out of their way for a while till they get it figured out, and then let's see if we can do whatever they need us to do.
Can't we all just get along?
No, we can't. I wish we could.
Okay, so let me ask you. So the biggest areas of the concern are 1774, 1488, and 2978, right? Pretty much in
Yes.
your area?
Yes.
Which one has had the best improvement, or have they all been improved roadways?
No, they have not. 1774 has probably had the best improvement as far as completion-wise through Montgomery County from Pinehurst all the way to Grimes County. They've got the road widened, 4 lanes, turn lanes. They've got all that done, and they're going from Montgomery County, they're going all the way through Grimes County up to the 249 toll road as we speak now. So that wasn't even planned. But again, that's something else that the 249 toll road has changed. 249 toll road wasn't even supposed to be into Grimes County till next year, sometime at the end of 2022.
So you're ahead.
We're about a year and a half ahead.
That's fabulous.
So when we did that, well, TxDOT agreed to go from Montgomery County at least up to the toll road. It just makes sense. You're going to have people getting off the toll road on 1774. Why have a 2-lane road when we got the money to make it a 4-lane road, move stuff around, make that 4-lane coming into Magnolia? Makes sense. So they've agreed to do that. 1488.
I hate 1488.
Well, I hope you don't have to hate it very much longer.
It's a mess.
They are working
Anywhere.
on the west side of Magnolia from Waller County back to Magnolia. They've got the right-of-way done. They've already cleared the right-of-way. They're putting pavement on the ground now. That should be done by the first quarter of next year or maybe the middle of next year. But the good thing about that, everything we've done around Magnolia on that side of the town or that side of the county, I think TxDOT has looked at it like, you know what, maybe we need to go further. So what TxDOT's done since that's going, they've agreed to go from Waller County line all the way to 290 with the widening project. That wasn't even on the books. That wasn't even in sight. So they've agreed to do that. And then the section from Mill Creek up to Magnolia, headed west, they've got the right-of-way purchased. They should start working on that section of road first quarter of next year. So you'll have the west side done by maybe the middle of next year. The section from Mill Creek or Magnolia High School up to the railroad tracks in Magnolia will start construction the beginning of next year. So there's a lot going on, and I know it's going to be a mess while all this construction is going on, but just think what it's going to be like when it's done.
There's light at the end of the
tunnel.
tunnel.
And it's not as far as everybody thought it was going to be when they
Because I know
first
at
started
heavy
talking about
commuting
this.
times it gets really bad, whether it's on the west side of 1488 or the east side.
Well,
it's
the
crazy.
west side right now is the worst side, headed from 45 into Magnolia. And I'm gonna make a statement that the traffic signals, every time you put one in, it's not always the best thing to do. It just aggravates me to no end. I know we have to have traffic signals at 1488 and 249, but just because the book says if you got a tow road and a farm to market road intersecting, this is how you do it. That don't work, not all the time, and it's not working in Magnolia. So I've been in contact with TxDOT for the last 2 months trying to get something done, and I finally got those guys to agree to let our signal technician from Montgomery County go out and tweak the light. And he did it this morning, and guess what?
Wow.
Half the traffic went away.
Really?
I've been telling them that for 2 months.
I mean, it does. When you think about it, it does
it's
collect
pretty
traffic because everybody sits at the signal.
But
So,
what bothers me is these, and I'm not knocking
that's where you need to
anybody.
have your campaign signs where everybody's
People-
sitting in the signals
well,
and waiting.
I don't want them sitting in the signal way. I don't.
No, I know.
But
I'm just
we
saying,
drive it every
that's a
day.
good visibility place, you know.
We drive it every day. So when we call them and say, hey, maybe you need to do this, they look at their book, what it's supposed to be, but it ain't working. We're telling them it ain't working. Come look at it. So they finally agreed, and he went out there and worked on it this morning, and I will be out there this evening between 5 and 6 o'clock to see if it's any
check it
better.
out?
And I guarantee it's going to be better. I know it will.
Well, that's important too, Charlie, is to go out there and really have feet on the ground
To
and
know.
not just listen to what people say, but go
Right.
check it out
Yes.
for yourself so you really know,
And we
is
drive
it
it.
working?
We're here.
You know?
Now, the worst TxDOT job going on right now is 2978. And
Yes, that's a mess.
It's a mess.
It's a mess.
But
It's been a
there's-
mess.
There's light at the end of that tunnel, too, because I just got an update from TxDOT this morning. I've been trying to get something from them about what's going on. It doesn't look like anything's happening. Well, it's happening. They're working on the bridge over Dry Creek, so the crews are underneath the bridge taking care, they've got the deck on, they got everything done, but now they're doing some stuff everybody's underneath. So they can't do a whole lot of do a whole lot of paving until they get that exactly like they need it. Then they come back and pave. So that's almost done.
So that's the backstory that people don't know.
They don't know. Nobody's working out here.
Because they're hiding underneath.
They're hiding. That's right. I mean, I faced the same thing on Fish Creek when.
Yes, I know about Fish Creek.
That's a 700.
And that's pretty. That looks good.
It's perfect. It's a 700-foot bridge, so you get the decking and get everything done, so you're ready to pour concrete or you're ready to your asphalt. Well, wait, we got to get everything from here up to that to make sure the bridge don't fall down. We start running over it, so everybody's underneath it.
That's the part nobody knows.
And people.
You need to tell that story more often.
How do you?
You find a good PR person. That's all.
You know.
Yeah, so,
and people just
but
don't.
They don't know because you only know what you see.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
So-
everybody's gone. Nobody's working anymore.
That's right.
Well,
And part of that was, Charlie, we'd get calls and we'd say, well, there's water under there right now. It hadn't rained here. And it's like, yes, but it's got, the Lake Creek is a 300,000 acre
It's still
watershed
here
that's
underneath.
not here.
But people don't know.
They don't
They
know.
don't see.
they
right.
don't. You're right. You're exactly right.
You know. So, but I mean, at the end, you completed it very well. It's a great road to travel
It took longer
on.
than what it should have.
And everybody who lives out there, I mean, the other part of the story is now everybody's happy, right?
Yeah, but
with
we don't
that-
hear that part. we never get all the phone calls about, hey, thank you for that. We know what
That's
you went. No, we don't.
pretty much
And
life.
again, I
Yeah,
understand
I mean,
that. I'm not looking
yeah.
for a pat on the back. I just want to get the jobs done. And
You
make
want to
it,
get them
and
done.
make
You
it
want to do
better
what
for-
you're supposed to be doing.
Make
in
it better
your
for the
office.
people in that area. And I think we have made it. I say it all the time. That's the prettiest drive from 1488 up to 105 in the county. It really is. I think it is.
Well, we're going to take a little break and then come back more about what you're working on and your upcoming projects and your event as well. So we'll be right back. I am Margie Taylor, your host for Conroe Culture News.
Team Sinisi is a proud sponsor of Conroe Culture News. Vinny Sinisi and his professional team provide comprehensive real estate services throughout the greater Montgomery County area and beyond. Whether looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, Team Sinisi has an impeccable reputation. Contact Team Sinisi for a great experience at teamsinisi.com. That's TEAMSINISI.com.
Since 2004, Stein Chiropractic has offered spine and joint manipulation services to residents of Montgomery County and surrounding areas. Conditions treated include lower back pain, migraines, headaches, whiplash, carpal tunnel, neck pain, sciatica, joint pain, sports injuries, herniated discs, and complications from pregnancy. Stein Chiropractic, led by Dr. Stacy Rogers and Dr. Brian McGee, is an integrity-verified chiropractic clinic. Call 936-441-9990 for an appointment or visit rogerssteinchiropractic.com. That's RODGERSSTEIN chiropractic.com.
Have a legal question? Are you a resident of Montgomery County? Call 281-645-6344 to talk to a volunteer attorney from the Woodlands Bar Association. We answer the phones on the first Monday of every month at 281-645-6344 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. to provide general legal information and information about legal resources to Montgomery County residents.
Hello, I'm Margie Taylor, your host for Conroe Culture News, and I am sitting here with Commissioner Charley Riley, Precinct 2, and Chief of Staff for Precinct 2, Charley Riley, Bruce Berger. And we were talking about road projects that have been completed, and Charley, you wanted to add some more information about a project that you're working on.
Yeah, one of the real big projects, I think, for the folks around 45 and 242 is the third direct connector that me and Commissioner Metz have teamed up to sponsor and fund the construction of. That's the flyover going northbound on 45 to eastbound 242. All of us have been at that intersection trying to go east on 242 or even go west on 242.
Usually we try to go a different way.
Yes, try to stay away from it.
Yeah.
what I think this is going to do is it's going to completely clean up that intersection, because most people are trying to go out east on 242 if you sit there and look at that intersection. But the beauty part of this, me and Commissioner Metz had agreed to fund the overpass. Well, TxDOT called us here again. It seems like every time we do something, TxDOT takes notice. I'm just saying.
That's good.
You're
or
doing
not.
this.
I don't know.
You're doing this, but we've got this project we need to do. Why don't we do them at the same time? Which makes sense.
It does.
They've got a drainage project they need to do. So I'm sure everybody's aware that the service roads at 242 and 45 sometimes go underwater. And that's not good for anybody when you're trying to get to either one of these hospitals on that intersection. You know,
Yes, they're all around
Methodist,
there. Yeah.
Texas Children, Herman, they're all there. So they came to us and said, let's try to combine these. They had about a $15 million project. Well, our flyover is about $15 million. Let's do them all together. So what their project consists of is taking the drainage problem that's on the west side of the service roads and going underneath the service roads and 45 to a new detention pond on the east side of 45. But during that project, they also are going to take care of the service road problem. They're going to add two right turn lanes on the service road going east on 242. Because, look, there's a lot of stuff right there where people don't want to take the flyover. They do need to go east to some of the commercial development.
That are right there.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then we've been talking to them for the last two and a half years. We've had meeting with TxDOT. We've had the chamber, Woodlands Chamber. We've had people talking about the northbound service road from Tamna Road up to 242. Now, it's hard to explain. Some of the road is a 3-lane road, but when you get to on and off ramps, they choke it down to 2 lanes to let people get on and off, and then they open it back up. They do that about 3 times.
So that's all your area too, or is it 4?
That's 4, but
Okay.
But I kind of took the lead on this, kind of looking like, if you made this 3 lanes, people know how to merge. I don't think you're doing a whole lot of good by moving people over. I may be wrong, but they agreed. So they're going to make that a 3-lane service road from Tamna Road all the way to 242.
That's good.
That stops all this.
That's good.
Cramming it.
There's a lot of congestion
Yes.
over there.
So that will stop some of that. So
I
that
mean, you
is
got the restaurants and the whole other
everything. So when you
new developments that are happening over there.
when you choke it down to 2 lanes and somebody wants to turn right, well, then you've really made a congested spot. Leave it open. Let the guys turn. Let them go. I always say, let traffic go where they need to go, and they will take care of your congestion, most of it. Quit drawing arrows and lines and telling people what they got to do. They know what they need to do. People can't drive if it ain't painted or there's not a sign anymore.
Well, you know what's really hard is when you are going on the feeder road to get on 45 going northbound, you immediately get in the lane that takes you to 242 to go over, and you have to hurry and shift over 2 lanes.
Yes.
Which can be scary. You know, you got to move fast.
Yeah.
Of course, if you have a fast car,
Well,
you know, makes it a little
or a
easier.
fast truck.
But that's could be dangerous.
It could be dangerous, but I think these improvements will help. They will clean up that intersection. And right now, when I first started talking about 242 and 45 intersection, I met with, again, the Woodlands Chamber, and there was a lot of folks in the room, the chairman of Methodist Hospital, Texas Children, Herman. We were all in the room. And I kept hearing about ambulances are having a hard time to get to the hospital. And I thought, well, I don't want to be. But then the director from Texas Children looked me right in the eye and said, when your kid or your grandkid's sick, what do? I throw them in my truck and I take off to the hospital. Well, my truck don't have horns on it, lights on it, sirens. So an ambulance has a hard enough time getting through. How is that mama or that daddy getting through there to get that kid to Texas Children in a regular car? I ain't going to be the guy. I don't want to be the guy where somebody couldn't get there and either I don't even want to
It's
say
just
it.
not a good thing.
It's not a good situation.
Yeah. So
and that's
for that
bothered
reason
me.
alone,
That's
it
bothered
needs to
me
be,
for the last 5 years. It's something's got to be done.
Something's got to be changed because that's the hubbub for
Yes.
all of our little medical center.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of hospitals right there.
Everything's right
and
there.
it's great because then you don't have to go to downtown
It's
Houston.
great, unless you can't get there.
Unless you, well, yes, that's true.
That's not good.
That's
And I
true.
don't want to pass over too quickly on the point you made is that, no, the majority of this is not in Commissioner Riley's precinct. It's in Commissioner Metz's precinct.
Right,
But
and that's
Commissioner-
why I was wondering.
Well, you know what? It's
Somebody's got to take the lead and start,
from the,
right?
From the day one, he told me when I came to work here, use common sense. Well, that was an issue that needed to be tackled, and it needed Commissioner Riley. I know you want to be humble, but it has to be said. This is not in his precinct, but it was an issue that needed to be addressed. We have great working relationships with Commissioner Metz. He and Commissioner Riley were able to put their heads together, work together, and even though it's outside the precinct, the majority of this, it's still a huge need that affects everyone
It's
in this
more
county.
teamwork than
Yes.
everybody just do your own thing.
Well, and I
you really
appreciate-
need that.
I appreciate Commissioner Metz by listening and saying, and he just told me, you take the lead. Just let me know what we're doing. And that's the kind of, that's what it takes to get things done. I mean, I could have sat right there and said, hey, that's not my precinct. That's Metz. Go see him. What has that done? That ain't
and
do
that's the
nothing.
value of all the commissioners working together too.
Yes.
You know, because you all vote on things together. You don't say, "Oh, sorry, that's not my area."
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you work together. Plus, you also have the experience of being there and have probably the relationships that he may not have because he's a new
That's right.
commissioner, right?
I had a good relationship with the Woodlands Chamber. I've got a good working relationship with most of the people in the Woodlands, to be honest with you. I really do. And I enjoy working with
Well,
those
and
people.
that's important. Relationships really do matter.
It is.
I mean, it kind of helps the process along a little bit faster
I've got
and
a-
more efficiently.
Again, I have to work with the city of Shenandoah. We got a great working relationship. Magnolia, Montgomery, Conroe. I mean, that's what it takes to get stuff done. Conroe Road, that's a booger bear of a project, and I'm glad the city of Conroe's taking that on because it's a monumental task of what they're trying to do. But again, one of those TxDOT deals. They're talking 6 to 8 to 10 years before they can even really start working on Old Conroe Road. Old Conroe Road can't wait that long with all the stuff that's going on.
So that's going to go into 105, right?
Yeah,
or not?
from
Okay.
1488 cross San Jacinto River, across Lake Creek, going into Sergeant Ed Holcomb Boulevard.
Right.
On the loop.
That's if everything
We need that.
We need it.
We need that
if
way
they
to
started
get
right now
through.
today, by the time they do their right of way and they try to do the environmental assessment and they try to do all their design and get everything done, hopefully within 6 years they're doing something. But that's I hope they're doing that before then.
Mm-hmm.
But when I go out there and I drive up and down the road and I see 45 or 50 cars sitting at 1488 and Old Conroe Road trying to turn left, I can't wait 6 more years. I can't wait another month.
Lots of
so we
development over
didn't.
there. Yeah.
We kind of told TxDOT what we wanted. Here again, we kind of told TxDOT, hey, we kind of said this is what we want to do. We kind of said this is what we're going to do.
Bruce is laughing.
Well, again, when you have that kind of relationship with TxDOT, you can do a few things, and anyway.
You can be a little spunky.
Yes. So
Okay.
I told him, I said, look, I'm going to put a right turn lane. I'm going to put another lane in. I want you to make sure your lights are right. I'm not going to do anything out in your right of way that's going to foul things up. It's just not going to look like your standard intersection. And they said, okay. They didn't really think we was going to do it. Well, we put it on the ground and we opened it up Friday.
That's
and
exciting.
It's working.
Very exciting.
It's working great.
Good.
But you know that you talk about relationships. The reason there was I laughed because it's his relationship with TxDOT. Every project that he's done like this has been a success. So we can always point to, look, we have a great track record here. Charley knows what he's doing, and they're like, yeah, he does. So there wasn't a huge amount.
They trust you. They trust
I
your
think they do.
judgment.
I think they do.
And that's really what matters.
Yeah.
For the community, the people that live out here.
Right.
And it doesn't matter whether you live in Precinct 2 or not. You're traveling through it, whether you're commuting to go to work or
Well, yeah, you don't
a business or whatever it is. You want all the roads to be easily accessible and efficient so that you don't have to wait forever, or even if there's an emergency, you can get through.
You don't
correct?
stop at the Precinct 2 boundary. You drive all over the county. I mean, that's how you have to look at this.
Well,
I can't.
yeah, as someone who does, I can appreciate
You
that.
can't just say, well, that's not mine.
No.
You
No,
just
it's all
can't do that.
yours. It's
Yeah.
all yours. Just everybody work together
Yeah.
to make it accessible.
Yes.
You know?
And that's how I try to look at every decision I make. Every time I try to do something, number one, is it good for Precinct 2? It has to be. But is it good for the county as a whole? That's how you have to look at everything I do. I don't look at it any different. I keep repeating myself. I don't want to do.
Do you think
something-
that's unique?
I really do. I don't want to say, well, that's so and so's. I don't want no part of it.
But do you
can't
think-
do that.
Without pinpointing.
Yes, I do.
Do you think
Yes.
that what you're saying is unique to the commissioner's court, that everybody doesn't necessarily, and I'm not really trying to put you on the spot, I'm just saying I think it's a great way, a good perspective, that what you do affects others in the community.
Yes.
So if Precinct 1 or Precinct 3 or Precinct 4, whatever, they can't just look out for themselves. They need to look at it as a joint venture, how it affects everybody who lives in Montgomery County.
Right.
Right?
And I think that we are unique in Precinct 2, that we go above and beyond whenever we do that. Some of them may not do as much as we do. Some of them may say, that's his, let him deal with it.
Right.
And I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes I don't want to, look, I don't know how that's going to turn out. That may not be the thing to do. You let him get comfortable with it, and maybe he'll come to me.
So you have disagreements,
You
and that's
have to do
okay.
that.
You don't have to agree with everybody all
But
the
you
time.
have some people down in, say, the township that are trying to keep me from doing roads
I wouldn't call
outside of
anybody out.
my outside of their boundary.
Yeah.
Now that's not what I do not like that.
Right.
And I'm not trying to do anything. I'm trying to take care of mobility and make things
That's your main job.
safer and better quality of life.
So to
That's
that
what I'm looking
effect,
for.
you're passionate about what you're doing.
I'm very passionate.
You love it. So that means that you're here to stay for a little while, or you want to be.
Anybody that's look, I'm
Anyway.
going to say this. There's been some rumors that I've heard that I'm sick.
You don't look ill.
That I've got something that I'm not going to be able to run again. I'm not going to be able to do my job. I'm here to say, I'm not going away. Even when this gig's up, I'm here. I'm
You
not
live here.
going, I'm
This is
not
your
going
community.
anywhere. But I am running again, and I'm running as hard as I can.
Okay.
And
It's official.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with me other than I got a little high blood pressure. But we're here to stay.
Do you have a
As long
stressful
as-
job?
As long as the people will vote us in and have us, we're here.
Well, okay. So you've been in office 6 years?
7 years.
7 years. 7 years.
I'm in my 7th year.
You're in your 7th year. Wow.
We got a lot done in 7 years, I promise you. You go back and look at what we've done in 7 years, you'll be amazed. Not only the road projects, but just some of the things we've done. You know, the Forensic Center been kicked down the road for 25 years. Well, guess what? We figured out a way to get it done, and I took the charge on that, took the lead on that. It's being built now. The District 4 substation over in Magnolia, I've been hearing about that for 30 years. We need someplace over here where our guys don't have to drive all the way to Conroe. Well, guess what? I took the lead on that, and it's going to open either by the end of this year or January of next year. That keeps our law enforcement where they need to be. Quality of life, safety.
Sure,
That's
absolutely.
What it's all about.
And there's a
Actually-
lot more coming down.
It's just the opposite of defund the police, because by Charlie
Yes.
championing that project, he literally got 900 hours of policing that was being spent in transporting, driving back and forth and process.
you
to
gained-
Conroe.
It's more than that, because
It is.
that wasn't all
that
the
was just for Magnolia.
So it increases the safety and
Well,
protection of the people that live out there.
So right now today, Margie, one of the agencies has to arrest somebody. They have to leave, and they could be at Robert Cemetery Road in Spring Creek. It's going to take them 2 hours to get from there to Conroe to take somebody to jail. It's going to take another 45 minutes to do the paperwork. Then it's going to take him another 45 minutes because he's going back to his office, not to Robert Simpson. So he's got 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours tied up with one guy. So now we open up this substation. He arrests somebody. He takes him up there, does the paperwork, books him into that holding facility.
So you have your own holding facility
And
there.
he's back
That's
on the
pretty
road
cool.
within 35,
Yeah.
40 at the hour at the most. And he's never left his
area. Yeah.
And then the sheriff's, it's a sheriff substation. He's going to man the holding facility and man the facility twice a day. A van will come pick up whoever's here, and they'll transport them to the county jail in Conroe. So
it's much more efficient.
Oh, it's a home run for everybody.
Well, and he
that's
did another one. We did a reorganization of how we on our barn, where everyone is, where they're officed out of, and we ended up with an old supervisor's office, which excuse me, housed 4 supervisors. And Charlie said, "You know, it would be a good thing." And I'm like, "Tell me." He said, "Have you ever seen the closet DPS has to work out of up here?" And I said, "No, I haven't." He says, "Literally, it's a closet."
Oh, like our
So
office right here.
Charlie, well,
It wasn't this big.
it wasn't this big. And so Charlie said, "I'm going to work on getting them an office, giving them that office." And now we have, of course, these poor guys are going between the border and Austin for the special sessions, but it gave us, they work out of his office now.
We've got a sergeant from the DPS. We hope we get a lieutenant and a what they call a unit out here, and I think we will because of what we've given them, and we're trying to help them. You know, I've always seen DPS in a closet about this big because they don't have a place to go. They don't have Wi-Fi. They don't.
You can't work with that.
You can't. I've seen them parked in
without all
front of.
the essentials.
I've seen them parked in front of the high school trying to get on their Wi-Fi or in front of City
gosh.
Hall.
So they
That's
can have
true.
it.
So we opened it up, and now there's a sergeant and 6 troopers out of that office.
Yeah.
And if we can get a unit there, we'll have a lieutenant and a sergeant and maybe 10 or 12. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but I've got the place for them to do it if they want to.
Well,
And
that's good.
That's what we need.
So you're very productive
Yes.
in your role. Do you work every day?
Every day. 24 hours, 7 days
Every
a
day?
week.
And you, of course, live in Magnolia.
Yes.
You live in that area. How long have you lived there?
Since 1971. I was 14 years old when I moved out there. I'm like most people in the west side of Montgomery County. We all came from the north side of Houston. I came from Fulton and Airline in the north side of Houston. And I can go to homeowners meetings right now, and if there's 200 people in the room, and we do our thing, and we get through with our questions and answers. Sometimes I just ask, how many people are here from the north side of Houston? And I guarantee you there's 70 people. If there's 200 there, 70 of them
Wow.
are from the north side somewhere. So
Interesting.
That's kind of cool, too, as far as I'm concerned.
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. So Magnolia has a lot of really good things, and I like the open space out there the best. You know, it's very nice.
A
So
lot of that open space is
Going
it's going away with about 12,000 acres that's under development right now. You know, I don't know if you've heard the numbers about 12 to 20,000 homes within the next 5 to 7 years, but that's true. That's coming.
HEB broke ground.
yeah,
HEB,
I know
yeah, you saw
HEB,
that, yeah.
and I know there's some other things about to happen that will be released soon.
Yes.
That'll offer more affordable housing
Right.
for families,
Yes.
which is a good thing.
Yes.
It's a very good thing.
As well as
So-
recreation.
Yeah, we can't quite talk about that yet.
Okay,
but we
there's a
do
lot of
have-
things we can't talk
We
about.
have some good news that we want to talk about.
We'll
We
talk
just-
about it as soon as we can.
Within the
close.
next 60
Okay.
days, I promise
Good.
you. And it's big
Good.
news.
Well, then you have to come back and share the
I
news.
will.
So let's
'Cause I'm
talk
excited about that.
Let's talk about your event
Okay, I'm having a campaign kickoff event.
because you're still here and you're healthy and
yeah,
you're
so-
moving forward.
Yes, I wouldn't
Okay.
be having a campaign event. If I wasn't going to try to run again, I wouldn't be having a campaign event. But I'm having it on September the 30th at Magnolia High School, like we always have. And we'll have our stuffed baked potato dinner. We won't do a whole big live auction, but we'll have a few live auctions. What I'm trying to do is let the public know I'm not
It's an
going
announcement.
away. I'm
It's
not
more of an
sick.
announcement,
I'm here.
correct?
I'm here, and I want the local people to come say, well, he is still here, and we're still running.
You want them to see you.
Yes. I want everybody to come out and enjoy and have a good time.
Okay,
It's
that's
not going to be a whole lot of pressure.
September 30th.
Yes.
Magnolia High School.
5:30 day.
And the road should be easy to travel to get there.
Hey, it's all open now.
Right. So it'll be a celebration party. Is that a Friday or a Thursday? I can't
Thursday.
remember.
That's
a
a
Thursday.
Thursday.
Okay, so put it on your calendar. And so that's coming forward. And anything else you want to talk about? Good news?
I think maybe some of the good news. I knew we wasn't going to get into the budget a whole lot, but I would like to say that it's another tight budget year, and we trimmed the budget back. And last year we trimmed about 3 cents off of our tax rate. Well, we did it again this year, so we've knocked about 6 cents off the tax rate in the last 2 years. It was a very interesting budget year, and I'm sure next year will be another very interesting budget year. But
Those things aren't fun.
it's not fun, but it's things that you have to do, and I think.
You got to have a plan.
We did what we were trying to do. We made it work, and we figured out a way to make it work. We cut some of the money out of the budget. I don't have all the numbers in front of me, and that numbers sometimes just get in the way. But I think we did what we could to take care of the citizens of Montgomery County, and we will continue to take care of the citizens of Montgomery County. We didn't cut any services, so we were able to cut the tax rate, keep the services there, and take care of the people. So I think
Well,
that's
I
a
know
good
that
thing.
some of the nonprofits still will be getting funding.
Yes, and I think that's very important. I don't agree with some of the folks that say we shouldn't be funding nonprofit.
There's a reason they're there.
Okay,
There's a reason they're
very
on
big
the
reason
budget.
there for me.
Yeah.
Because if they don't do it, guess who's going to have to do it? They're not going to go away. The people they're serving, we're going to have to take care of it somehow, one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
So I would a whole lot rather fund these guys and let them take the money we get and leverage it for all the money they get.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying we don't want to deal with them, but they know what
The
they
key
know
word is
more what
leveraging
That's
it.
right.
Because, and I like that you said that, because it doesn't mean that's where they get all their supplemental funding. It means they use that to get other funding. And if you don't support your own, then why should outside sources
That's right.
externally support
Right.
it? So they leverage that, let's say Meals on Wheels. They take those funds to get federal funds and
Right.
things like that.
That's right.
Because the federal government will go, well, if your local government doesn't support you that knows you, why should we?
That's right.
So that's the power of using that
Yes,
in
sir.
the
That's
county.
why it's so important.
And it brings, we all pay federal taxes, so you're bringing your tax money back to our community.
To the community,
Which is
correct.
really, we have a global perspective for our country, but I'd like to see our tax dollars come back to this county.
Yes.
So, it's
Absolutely,
a great
where
way
it
of
matters
doing it.
most. This is where you see it.
That's right.
Take care
You know?
of your home before you.
Absolutely.
So.
So I want to mention that you can find out more about your projects, because I know you've been doing some great videos as well,
Mm-hmm.
and they're on Facebook at COMMprecinct2.org. Is that right, Bruce? And you could also go
Notice he
to.
didn't ask me.
I did not.
She's
I
given
did not.
up on asking.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask you things out of your comfort level.
Well, and that's
So-
one of them.
He's
Yeah.
actually gotten really comfortable with the, they all look at Charlie like he's a rock, and it's not. The guy, he progresses. He's willing.
He
to
progresses.
Listen.
That's
he
good.
does. He's willing to listen when we talk to him about Charlie. That's great. It was done that way for years. This is how it's done now. The
We're
world
moving
has
forward
changed.
a little
and
bit.
He doesn't have a meltdown, and he's great.
Yes, I
So,
have noticed that. You don't seem as uncomfortable talking
he's
about
been
some
very
of this.
cooperative and
So,
moving forward.
You're stretching yourself. That's good. So, also, you can go to mctx.org and go under Precinct 2 and find you. That's another way to find it easier, and it's COMMprecinct2.org. But it's really easy to just Google this stuff and go on Facebook and look for Commissioner Charley Riley, and you can find it too. And I mention that because you do have some really good videos of the work that's completed, things that you're working on right now. And, it tells the story, So, again, September 30th is his relaunch campaign party. He's alive, all that. And at Magnolia High School. And that's it for today. So special thanks to our sponsors, Team Sinisi Real Estate and Roger Stein Chiropractic. I am Margie Taylor, and we appreciate both of you coming on to tell the story today.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.